Hello and good evening, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth.
Behind the truth.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this wonderful show that is changing lives. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is.
Helping people find their authenticity and letting them know that they are enough. And what's your t-shirt say, Parnell? Your slogan? What's your slogan? Your t-shirt
It's not my job to make you comfortable with my life.
It's not my job to make you comfortable.
right.
That's our third point slogan for all of what we do. That brings it to a head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It really does.
That does.
It does. Want to welcome our Facebook family, our Instagram family, all of those involved, our YouTube family, and also our TikTok family. Man, TikTok's the place to be right now. We'll talk about that later. Not tonight. We're gonna talk about that one day. But TikTok is definitely the place to be. I'm really surprised to see what's happening with the TikTok market these days.
All
Man,
right.
those videos and those influencers on TikTok, man, my gosh, these people are making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
For telling somebody to go to go and buy a pair of holy underwear. You know, I mean, like, for real. It's just like, are you serious? But I mean, I'm serious. These people are buying this. I'm buying up on these ideas these people are putting out there, and these people are making money and have absolutely no talent.
Isn't there a correlation with TikTok and people with no long attention, who have
long
problems?
attention span?
Yeah.
It
Is
could
there
be.
a situation with
It
that?
could be.
Because somebody brought that up in one of the comments. I was watching a video. Somebody was doing a commentary on they were doing a podcast on some subject, but underneath the comments there, somebody said, well, this podcast is not for TikTok followers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I thought about it, I said, why? And then the person went as far as to say, because of the fact that you have to listen and sit there and really listen to get the gist of what we're talking about, what they're talking about.
Okay.
So there is an audience that cannot sit and really watch something of this nature.
Makes sense.
Because of the fact that they don't have that attention span. So
Makes
TikTok,
sense.
I think, provides that for those people. Now, I'm not saying, but that really was like, oh, that's a great hypothesis. I never thought about it because TikTok videos are not that long. It's just you have to get to the point.
Right. I've just never, that's a good point. I've never heard that before, but that's kind of a good relative. But honestly speaking, that's just society in general.
Yeah. Basically.
You know what I mean? It's just like they've got to have that entertainment factor going on, or they don't pay attention, at the end of the day, which is sad. It's a very sad position to be in life right now. And many people don't even, it's sad to say that many people don't understand the midst of the pandemic that we just got out of, and what has been lost and what has been gained through the process. It's sad. I'll say at the end of the day, but we'll get into all that in a minute.
And you know what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Harold. Go ahead.
And you know what? And that's also true for books. It's like,
yes,
my latest book it's not even 100 pages. It's probably my shortest book. And it has been my bestseller. And people just don't. I heard an author once say that people want the privilege of finishing your book. So people are not looking for big, thick books. I think a lot of authors think about, oh my God, I want to have all these pages, but folks just want to get to the point. They don't want to have to read.
We live into let's table this, okay? Because that's a good point to talk about when we come back for hot topics, okay? Mm-hmm. I like that. I like where that's going, okay? So check in and see how you guys are doing first, and then we'll go to our commercial break real fast. Go ahead, Harold. How you doing today, brother? How was your week been?
Well, I'm in Atlanta today. I'm in.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I came here to meet my friend from California. So I went out last night. So I'm here, but I'm kind of not here because my bedtime is 9 o'clock, and I didn't get to sleep until about 2 in the morning.
What?
So,
oh my God! That's 2 days of lost sleep for you.
Yes. So I'm a bit discombobulated. So I'm here, but I don't know what I might say today. So
all right. we don't have to. We put the rated X disclaimer on there tonight.
Uncensored. Uncensored.
But Harold, you need to forward a movement called the sleeping movement. That needs to be a movement that needs to be started in these United States of America.
People don't appreciate sleep.
People don't appreciate sleep, but you sure do. And I need to be your movement.
Parnell, how you doing, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's glad to be here for another week and celebrating this Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
But it's just just glad to be here. I don't have anything major that was happening.
Okay.
Just good. Just good.
Absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I am great.
You just saying great. That's it. Huh?
Well, you know what? I would say I'm all right, but
I ain't gonna say it's all right now. This is this.
Stand when I say I'm all right.
This is not a show or a life of all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is about greatness and complete success. Amen. You know. Also, so hey, these gentlemen going somewhere. Pay people. Just trust us. We all going somewhere. Yeah. Y'all gonna wonder how they get there. Well, you know, you weren't along for the ride. So hey, you know. That's the truth. But anyway, we're gonna go do a quick break, and then we'll come back with our wonderful hot topics tonight. Oh, before we go there, want to remind you guys, next week we are starting our another series called The Writer's Page. Yes. Oh my gosh, guys, you really need to start out with the author that's coming. Ms. Tara Colt will be here next week talking about real talk of the LGBTQ, whatever all them letters are, you know. But she's written a book that's very, very powerful, and she's going to be sharing about right at the right time of going into Pride Month. You know, it's wonderful. And get this, she is a heterosexual woman that did this research to bridge the gap between the same gender loving community and the heterosexual community. All right. Wow. Really, really powerful. I'm telling you, this girl is really powerful. We worked in a couple films and things like that in the past. We've been friends for a while, but I'm excited to have her expound on all of that next week. It's gonna be. It may be good. We may roll them in 2 shows because she's got so much impacted in this book. You know, and matter of fact, I do it. If you haven't gotten it, go to Amazon and get it. It's called Real Talk. I advise you guys to get this book. It is really, really, really awesome. You know, and what it does, honestly, it helps start the conversation and offer healing to the communities that we have our disenfranchised, you know, people of the same gender loving community, especially these old heads. Y'all gonna need to get all over y'all shit. I'm telling you. At this point, y'all should have been through the PTSD of church and everything else. Get y'all somebody to love, marry them, and move on with your life, okay? But anyway, that's not said. Let me go to this commercial. We'll be right back, guys. Hey, Edward back. Yeah. Once again, thank you guys for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth. Yeah. Shout out to our Facebook family, YouTube family, Instagram family, our UK family. How many more families? Oh, and TikTok family as well. Yeah. Do want to remind you guys, please. I'm not begging. I'm just gonna say, do it. Go to these pages and share this show. Okay, there's too much information out here that you guys are missing out on. Okay, those of you are sharing and helping people live share, we're giving you the tools. We started the conversations. We're giving them the solutions. We're your therapists, your spiritualists, your friends on the air, whatever we can possibly be to help you guys.
Your cousins, your
uncles, everybody in between. We've been the whole family, all wrapped into one. 1 hour a week or more a week. We are here trying to help you guys, better the opportunity of your life. Help building racial relationships or whatever. The conversation that people are afraid to have. Truth behind the truth is going to have them and continue to have them, because we're going to blow this stuff out the water, at the end of the day.
And in the process, we're helping ourselves too.
Absolutely.
We have these discussions. I think we get a deeper understanding and a deeper revelation as we talk it out.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with that, Harold. I mean, I'm sure you can contest to that. Is that I'll just go back before you got beautiful gentlemen became part of the cast. We had the opportunity to elevate ourselves at such a different point and just progress. And really, when you start having conversations to test your own knowledge and know that what you are gifted to do to this planet to help people evolve, I will easily say that your creator gives you a great download of information, and you're wondering like, whoa, where did that come from? Yeah. Or where did this knowledge come from? Biblically speaking, it's called a word of knowledge or a word in season, at the end of the day. And that is just the spirit of our creator just moves on you and brings that forward. You're like, well, I know myself, I've had conversations for years and I've told people things. Wow, you're so right on time. Now, I've not studied to be a psychologist, but I studied psychology. And I've studied human behavior. So some of my conversations I can dictate toward human behavior. I'm sure you did the same thing here too, Harold, for book research and all those type of things. That Parnell as well, baby, as well. We've all had that a part of our life, but we just never know how it became a point where we're integrated to what we do now. We're all media personalities, on this show. I mean, three of us, all of us are actors. One don't want to like be called an actor up there at the corner, but
but with all of that, with all of that you have done studying and getting and being informed in that, the one thing people would like to say, do you have a degree in it? Right. Now that's the one thing that kind of triggers me. Why do you have to have a degree to be enlightened or to understand certain things, certain avenues of certain paths of life? Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Why do we always have to put that label? Well, you have to have a degree to inform me or to enlighten me on what I need to do. Sometimes that's not always the case. It's self-explanatory and it's common sense. That doesn't take a degree. That takes the will to understand and to analyze what is right and what is wrong.
All right.
I think
you better say that.
I'm just saying, because see, it does sort of trigger me when people say, well, do you have a degree? And I'm like, do you have a degree in what you're doing?
Right.
Like, we're all in this world doing things that we don't have a degree in.
Right.
But you want to kind of,
qualify somebody.
Me or, put down what I'm saying because I don't, I haven't risen up to your level of, where I need to be. But that's just what it is.
I know you got a point here. I just want to just touch on what you're saying. Mm-hmm. The situation with that with degree, and we're all taught someone else's theory.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. We're all taught someone else's theory. So there is really not a defining factor in that theory, because theory is an ever evolving process. Mm-hmm. Because your theory of, for instance, your theory, I'm going to use the example, Harold, because you're in Atlanta. Now, you've been away from Atlanta for a little bit period of time. So you had one theory and idea that you could teach somebody about Atlanta in your previous time being here. But now you go back and I can teach you something else different about Atlanta because I've been in a different capacity. Mm-hmm. So your theory has evolved. You know what I mean? So to put people in one box and say theory is an absolute, and that's one of the major problems with religion, because they come up with all of these theories, or you go to I'll call them not theological thing, but I call it cemetery school, and but. Because they sit around listening to all this garbage, they walk out dead. Okay,
I had to catch that. I really had to catch that. Like, what?
But they do. You should see people in theology, in cemeteries. They sit down, I'm like, you know, and they go, and then they come out. You ask a question, and they go like, "Duh," you know. So I call it cemetery school, or they feel like they need to articulate everything in this upscale manner, you know, of presenting these simple truths. And I mind you, and I say, guys, simple truths of biblical understandings, and making it very complicated so that you feel like you need them. You know, at the end of the day. Now, I mean, all of us on here, and I'm sure you listen, you can find a way to tell people off and make them feel like, what the hell did they say to me? You know, especially gay men. Now, gay men will tell you, I'll read you, write you, give you the answer, tell you to tear out the page and make you look at it and wonder what happened. Okay. So, but that's an ever-evolving process. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, but you know, back to our point, you know, about this. So, you know, the main thing, like this is for you, the audience, trust your gut. You know what I'm saying? Your gut will never leave you wrong in the middle of a conversation. It will never, and you can always help somebody in the process of that. Here, I'll go ahead with your point. I ran off.
No, I was just going to say some of the most prolific people I know don't have earned degrees.
Right.
People are often surprised that Maya Angelou didn't have an earned degree. You know,
right.
Her doctor was honored, and she was, you know, who could discount her wisdom, you know,
right.
and what she brought. So, I mean, I think sometimes we put so much on those artificial things that really don't, you know, they only have meaning because we give them meaning.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. Pernell, go ahead.
Oh gosh, I lost my thought.
That was a degree. That was a degree right there.
That's a master's degree.
That was a master's degree right there. Went right out the window.
But you know, it is a very interesting thing because a lot of times there are people who have brilliant commentary and insight that don't have a formal education,
right?
You know, but through life experience, and they just are interested in subjects and read a lot of stuff.
Right.
And you know, when he asked, I said, "Well, do you have a degree in this?" And he's like, "Well, no." And I'm like, "I'm not saying that you have to have a degree to know what you're talking about, but when you make comments, you need to have something to show to back up what it is you're saying." And so, do you have it, where it feels like, well, I read so and so's books, who is a noted sister, say, you know, so I've read all that stuff that they've written, so I've gotten my education about it that way. Like when I met Greg Louganis, who I've been a huge fan of forever and a day, and I told him, I says, now I'm not that great a swimmer, and I'm scared of heights, but I can sit here and watch a diving competition and kind of over rotated, under rotated, and kind of judge a little because of watching him.
Right.
Olympics, you know, watching these events, you kind of see, you know, with the feedback. I mean, I will never probably be a judge at a diving competition, but I at least talk about it with some knowledge.
Exactly.
It's the same with any field that you're talking about, with relationships, with finances or whatever. You may not have gone to college for it.
Right.
Just being observant, you kind of
absolutely
that way,
because you know your best learning tool in life is to be involved in the process. You know what I mean? So a lot of people always consider that hands-on learning, whatever the case may be. But if you stand back from the process, you never learn anything. Right. You know, so it's better to be in the process. You know, I want to bring up a point real quick, then we'll go on to some other subject about just you as an example. This man is probably more prolific in the Hollywood, former days of Hollywood than probably anybody that I've ever met. I mean, he is a true historian of the vintage part of Hollywood, and know how to integrate it into today's society and find out where the shortcomings are and all those type of things, and the success and the rise and the falls of old Hollywood. And he's just very, very good at that. Now, he could be, in my opinion, a professor of old Hollywood. you know, if given the right platform, because he knows that he can tell you from Judy Garland's first bath water, okay, what time it was, what bubble bath she used, and how she smelled when she got out the tub, okay. You know, but it's true. You see what I'm saying? Whereas, but he has taken he has stretched his mind to the point to and knew that there was a part of him that needed to do. So he stretched his mind and he's educated himself. He's really, and independently, he's extracted that out of himself. You know, here's my thought, real quick. One scholar said to a group of people that I know that has been on the show, and I learned this from him probably 20 years ago. And it's a word that we misuse or misinterpret throughout society. Is the word educate. Okay, or education, or what is, we think that word is that somebody has to teach us, but really we're teaching them. And what happens in that is educate means to extract, to bring out of you. So what it is all of this energy that's around teachers. Now, don't get me wrong, they study little stuff, but what happens is that they are bringing out of the student what is already in them. You see what I'm saying? They're never putting anything into that you already don't know. Because what happens to know that you know it, okay, if I may say, it's like that light bulb comes on. As soon as they see it, that light bulb comes on. Or you use that as an example. It's like the knowledge just proves itself within you. You know, so we are teachers of men. You know, I don't want to get too biblical about it, but we are teachers of men. You know, in the process of that, everybody, like, and I know this is not a point that was really part of the show, but here when doing pre-show, you had mentioned about the young gentleman that spent time with you guys in his youth. He was there for you to extract out of him his greatness. You see what I'm saying? And what you guys did, how you positioned, whether it was him and your son playing cards a certain way, or playing Uno, whatever the case may be, and you oversee it, whatever the case may be, he was there because you were able to extract that out of him. So he was placed there for that. You were his teacher, but yet he was yet teaching you at the same time, because you learned something about him, you know what I'm saying, to get you in a position, a better way to be able to handle him. You know, in the same way with that, like we talked about last week on our show about children. You know, children are placed to help the parent become better. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and if we pay attention to the children, the parent will become better. You know, at the end of the day. But we like you said, Parnell, you did the opposition. I don't want to do it. He got to put him my way and the whole 9 yards, and we missed that opportunity. You know, but anyway, I don't get too deep here. I don't want to get that kind of deep tonight. But
I was about to say the greatest love of all at one point. Okay. I was about to say in the beginning phrases. I believe the children are the future. Yes. Teach them well and let them lead the way. That's exactly. I was about to go into it. Yeah, but see, that's the truth,
right?
And that's the type of messages that needs to be reinforced into society, which is now, you know, you don't hear too much of that. And you know, we were just talking about TikTok in the beginning,
right?
You know, that in itself is, I hate to say it like this, that has really kind of, and y'all can disagree with me on this because this is a great conversation, but I feel like with platforms like that, that has kind of, I don't know, to me, it has kind of downgraded the art form of getting the message across. I feel like at the end of the day, it needs to be analyzed. It needs to be talked like this in order for somebody to understand, because somebody could watch that same TikTok video and you might have gotten the message, but they still haven't gotten it yet.
The message is true.
And it could be so informative. It's like, you know, they word by word, but still I don't understand. Right. And you'd be like, wait a minute, but that I'm just saying. Now, I'm just saying. But the fact is, you know, with these platforms, I feel like when it boils down to movies and music, or with anything that we have coming on that shows us these types of subjects, we still, I don't know if it's just my generation or what's going on, but we just don't get it. Do you agree, Parnell, with that, or do you disagree with that? Agree, sort of.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I just feel like, you know, it's just, I think we just, in those regards, need to level up with the message.
Right.
Because the message is just not there. You know, we're missing out on what was given to us and what was created to us. And I feel like we need to go back and grab that.
Or revisit that.
That.
I agree.
You know,
I totally agree.
Go ahead, Parnell. I'm so sorry.
No, that's me, D. So what do you mean that we're missing it?
Well, I mean, I feel like and I might need to, I think, to be honest with you, we are not getting or not understanding as a society what is, and this is just me, what is being put out for us to regurgitate, or not regurgitate, but to understand. Mm-hmm. I think when it boils down to a message about drugs, about, homophobia, about certain things, people who might not understand where it stems from, I don't know if it's just me, but when it boils down to a TikTok video or to an Instagram or to a Facebook video, I feel like at the end of the day, people just don't understand. I don't care to get it. I don't know if it's just the pure ignorance. It's just not, I don't know.
I would say I know I see your point coming in. One of the things that these platforms have become, and we've touched on this in the show before, is escapisms. So people find themselves running to this to not deal with the aspects of the issues that they have in their lives. A lot of, not everybody, at the end, because some people find it fun, but and then of course it takes us in a level of different social media platforms, and why people have to post half naked on Instagram and everything else, because they.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, I know. Well, see, at least you can explain your purpose, okay? Because the rest of it, well, they got a purpose, but it ain't the same purpose yours is. I can trust you to tell you that, all right? And it becomes something more empty. They're empty. They want to fulfill something, but yet their world, or that space that they're in, they're not comfortable with themselves. So you appear to, if I'm explaining it right, you appear to be comfortable because you're taking something off, but really you're not really comfortable with yourself, because really you wouldn't have to take anything off to be comfortable with who you are. You know what I mean? Because I'm using part of. I mean, you may do it, may not do it, but
I'm sitting there like going,
Right.
Like, how he gonna go with this? Go put me in there, right? But what I mean behind it is, it's really not so much. You're going for likes, but those likes are not necessarily true likes. They're affirmations that you really don't believe about yourself automatically. You know what I'm saying? So therein lies, I think, the problem is a huge problem with that community. And then here you have the ones that look at that, or whatever the case may be, and have a pure empty side of their own life. And Harold, you know what I'm talking about. You have this solid group of people that are out here, 30, I ain't gonna say the name, but 37,000 of them, at the end of the day, that will look at pictures of half, dressed people, be it men, women, whatever the case may be. And when you put information such as the truth behind the truth, you put a blog up to say, join this conversation to help you enlighten that. People, you may get 20 likes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But basing your point on likes, but at the end of the day, there is a mindset that is just in society that really needs to be extracted out. And people are running to this and not gathering the right information. One other point. And then you want to have discussions. Here you go. You want to have discussions about blaming racism, blaming all these other factors, blaming this, blaming that, all this. And you're not, here are tools being given to you, but you'd rather you like a pic of somebody naked versus to listen to great conversation with four men, that's out here every week. And yes, I'm putting truth up there, audience. Rather than do that, but you'd rather like these pics, you know what I'm saying, and go 500 likes on that. But here is more than 500 information sitting between these four gentlemen right here. You see what I'm saying? So we have society has really kind of boxed itself into some kind of narrative that it's really hard for them to get out at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We need to do a PTSD on social media.
And I know, and I can receive everything you just said, but I'm so sorry. And I think what I'm to explain it, and to be honest with you, that is, we do run to social media for escapism. I think my thing is, and I think what triggered me this morning was I watched the commentary with Monique, and Monique is, a comedian and everything, and people have their disagreements about her and what she says, but she had a great subject matter about bonnets, about women wearing bonnets or wearing, sleeping wear to public places.
Wow.
And the fact that people that as women are not taking pride, or they're not respecting themselves to dress themselves according to where you're going. Now, looking through the comment section, me as a man, I'm not a woman. I don't wear bonnets. I don't,
Right.
I understand what I know I don't wear bonnets, but I understood where that stemmed from. But the fact is the subject matter was having pride, taking pride within one's self, one's identity, and going forward into society to do certain things doesn't require you to downgrade yourself by wearing, sleeping wear and bonnets and not sandals, but slippers.
Right.
Because I see this all the time in my store, and I wonder, why would you come into a store as nasty as a CVS or a grocery store and wear sleeping wear, attire? That's nasty. What I see every day is disgusting. But people do it every day. But it was a great subject matter. And in the comment section, you still see people who really, they did not get the message. They thought, one woman said, well, when it comes down to pride, is a very arrogant. Pride is a symbol of arrogance.
God, really?
Is a symbol of this and that.
Wow.
And I said to myself, what does
love it, party?
I'm like, what does that? Wait a minute, that's not what she's talking about.
Wow.
It's all about respecting yourself as a adult, as a woman who might have children who you are trying to enlighten, you're teaching to walk out into this world wearing clothes that does not fit well in any type of scenario where you're going into a store with a see-through tank top. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That is not respectful.
Right.
But the fact is, they took that message and made it more than what it was, because she was wearing a certain type of robe. She was in a hotel room, so she was getting ready for a show. But the fact that she needed to get that message across, because it really triggered her when she went to wherever she was going to.
Uh-huh.
It was a great message, but still people did not get it. And I think that's where I'm coming from with this, because of the fact that people, in order to get a message, they want you to say things, wear things, downgrade you. Like, who is that relationship guru that talk down to certain, to women? Y'all ever heard his name is Steven something?
There's a couple of them.
There's a lot of them, honestly, but they downgrade people, and people get the message through them downgrading the individual. I'm like, well, why couldn't you, if they would have talked, positive, why couldn't you have gotten the message with? But what I'm trying to get at, though. That's where I would just say, I just feel like in this society, you have to be looked down, downgraded, cussed at, wear certain items, wear no items, to get your message across. And that, to be honest with you, that shouldn't be. But that's just me.
Totally agree. Go ahead,
I see Ethel's comment about with no bra. I'm team free the nipple. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I'm done with you.
I can.
But people are where they are, and we all have lenses that we see things through.
Right.
So, and that lens is covered by trauma, by societal norms, and so we see things based on that. So something may be presented to you, and you just can't receive it because you have all of this stuff on your lens that causes you not to be able to see or even hear it. And so for all of us, we all can be sitting getting the same message and just not receive it. We're going to receive it differently based upon our experience.
Experiences, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to integrate biblical things into this, but it's just so true. I mean, just these little tidbits of reminds me.
I feel like you're taking us to church every Saturday.
I know, right? It is like
all this religion. I think I'm going back to the PSP.
I know.
I don't want to hear about all this stuff.
Pastor J, did we have a PCM?
But see, I'm trying to free you from it. So at the end of the day,
all right now.
But making a point of reference to free you from it. So
Pastor J, now come on.
I'm about to leave all this church talk. I ain't coming for all that.
See, you got to understand what you're being free from. That's what it is.
I can't.
But just a point of reference, it's just like, and I'll say from a scripture perspective, it's just that, one of the scriptures that, I'll say the seed is cast out there in the air. Okay, it's a scripture that I can go into about it, and then where it falls is on the ground or the area that it's fertile or ready to receive it. All seed is not going to fall in its proper perspective, and you as the seed sower, have to be mindful of that. And basically what that says is that in your conversation, everybody's not going to receive what you're going to, just like you said, Harold, everybody's not going to receive what you got to say because they can't hear it. you know, and they don't have well, here's another biblical point. They don't have an ear to hear. You know, everybody can't hear what we say on Truth Behind the Truth because we're so different. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're not on here talking about Kim Kardashian's ass. At the end of the day, you know, do we care about Kim Kardashian's ass? Absolutely not. Now, maybe if we had a discussion about it, maybe some of our men viewers would say, "Oh, hell, they're talking about Kim Kardashian's ass." Okay,
or the ratio of the
right,
perfect
exactly.
ass,
you know, exactly,
the density, and the thickness, the cushion, and the smell of one.
Oh, stop. Okay.
We can do it. We can call it.
We can do a subject matter on that.
Anyway,
we'll call it
what
onion
is the
talk.
perfect ass? I always thought about it. Is it does it hang low? Do it wobble to the floor? You hang your tied in a knot. I'm just wondering.
Is that a song? Is that a song?
Y'all are too much. But it's
I just wonder.
But it's true. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and there are other things we can talk about that we ain't talking about either. but you know,
it's a great subject matter. I'm down for that subject. Like, listen, I always wondered that. They have the pictures up and everything.
You know. But again, the truth behind the truth is that our content is not supportive of that, even though we will have that integrated at times. You know what I'm saying? But some of these conversations that go on a lot of these shows I hear are not helping people get better. You're feeding into the narrative. It may get them a certain amount of ratings. Oh, hell with you. Go ahead with the ratings at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, guess who's going to be standing? The ones that have built a solid foundation. That's what this show does. Build a solid foundation at the end of the day. But anyway, I'm going to stop running my Parnell, go ahead. Y'all know you have some things you want to talk about tonight. Hot topics, y'all. We doing it.
Hot topics. Well, of course, I mean, I'll get to my big thing, but I want to send condolences to the family and friends of BJ Thomas, who passed today, and also Gavin MacLeod.
Being passed today. Yes. I talked about Gavin MacLeod today too.
I was like, oh man,
I didn't hear that. Oh
yeah. He died.
Can I interrupt you one thing? I'm sorry, just one point. You know, I looked on Twitter. Ed Asner said something really, really kind of deep and profound. Mm-hmm. You know, did you see his thing he put on Twitter? He just said that he said to Gavin, he said, farewell, my friend. You know, I'm paraphrasing, which is farewell, my friend. Well, I'll be along soon. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then he said out to Betty, he said, Betty White, it's just you and I. Mm-hmm. You know, from the whole gang of the Mary Tyler Moore, you know, everybody that transcend from that particular point in time. And then he just said it's just left up to us, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, for him to really go there, you know, and have that kind of connection, you know, and just feel like, and you know, we may hear that he's transitioned in the next day, next week, next month or two.
Yeah,
because he made that statement. You know, but anyway, go home. Which I just wanted to throw that in there.
Oh yeah, no, cool. And with BJ Thomas, I met him a few years ago. It was one of those oldies gigs with that was on with Mary, and you know, and Mary's introducing the band. She's like, "Oh, this so and so, and this so that's Parnell. Oh, yeah, I know Parnell." And I'm like, "He does?" It's like, okay, but such a nice man, you know, and it was great. Of course, we all raindrops keep falling on my head.
Yes.
Really nice man. So that one hit me because I met him. I hate to say I knew him, but I met him. But my big thing that I really want to talk about was Mitch McConnell's ass.
Okay, that's fine.
And then blocking the commission to investigate the insurrection on January 6th.
Right.
And this is really a problem with our system, that one side can be able to even stop an investigation into attack on our Capitol building. That's a flaw in the system that can even happen. It's like, right. People attacked our Capitol building.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. An investigation is going to happen, period, point blank.
Right.
There is to it. Ain't none of this, well, I don't think we should. Like, I don't really give a damn what you think. That's what's going down.
Right.
It should happen. So a friend of mine had a post on it and says, like, well, isn't it interesting? The Republicans keep saying that it was Antifa and Black Lives Matter pretending to be Trump supporters.
Are you not serious?
Well, then if you really think that, then you should want this investigation to go forward to prove your point.
Right.
You want it because you know damn well it was Trump supporters.
Right.
And you know damn well that it was some of your people
that
were in on this.
But you know what's so funny? Even though the way they change the narrative is just another form of white supremacy. And I hate to say go there, but it's the truth.
Why? It's the truth.
It's the truth.
Right.
It is another form of white supremacy because for years it's just the fact that we saw it with our own eyes what happened. So why are you changing the narrative? It's just like we're talking about Tulsa, the massacre, Tulsa, Oklahoma, race riot. The fact that they for years changed the narrative about everything from the Civil War to slavery to everything. This is just, I can't understand how these people can still get away with this lie. And the fact that these Republicans, are not in handcuffs. That's another one I want to know. Why haven't they arrested some of these politicians that they know collided with these people? The fact is they need to put some of these people in handcuffs. As easy as it is to put some of these protesters and some of these politicians who are progressive in handcuffs, you need to start putting these conservatives in handcuffs.
Absolutely.
And I'm tired of it. As an American citizen, I'm tired of these people getting away with murder.
Well, if we keep our fingers and toes crossed, we're gonna see President Cheeto. They're gonna go down to Mar-a-Lago, okay, and they're gonna pull up Mar-a-Lago, okay. They're gonna roll up there with the pate wagon, okay, all right. And I'll be with the pate wagon, all right. And they're gonna be some handcuffs, whether they gold or silver, okay. they gonna be in there. They're gonna march right out 2 by 2, 1 by 1, okay. Because the state of New York is gonna be resilient of getting his ass. I'm telling you, you know, and as they say in the street, they're gonna tap that ass. Okay.
And it's time.
It's time. It really is. You know,
because
go ahead.
Right. This has been, and I get it. That there are the white supremacist stronghold that's been held on this country is being weakened. It's all the time as more people of color, as more women, as more people from the LGBTQ community start claiming their power and their piece of the puzzle, that power structure feels threatened. So it fights even harder to maintain power. I just saw something that said that Republicans aren't interested in what's right and what's fair. They're interested in just maintaining control.
Right.
That's the only way to explain their unwillingness to say that Donald Trump was responsible for what happened, but not hold him accountable. Listen, if the three of y'all ever plot to do something to me, damn Skippy, I'm coming to charge. Like, get them
right.
They came for me, get them. I don't care what position they had. I don't care that they're on my team. They sent people to try and hurt me. They gotta go.
Got to go.
But to excuse that and to let that go because you want to try, well, we're worried about, his supporters. I'm not going to drop the F-bomb. I sure was about.
We were right here.
It was right there.
It was right here. I was like, go ahead. Right.
Who gives a, why do you still want to cater to the extreme?
Right.
You know it's wrong.
Because they're extremists.
What the clown was talking about is a bunch of bullshit. You know it's lies and distortions, but you keep going along with it. Well, he's got these fathers who believe it, and the truth out there. Right. And the same thing I say to the Democrats all the time. Stop trying to be so damn nice.
Right.
Right.
Why are you trying to be nice? Well, we got to find out a way to lure over the Trump voters. Why?
Why? When they
have made it clear they have absolutely no intention of listening to a damn thing you have to say.
True.
What you need to do is focus on the Democrats and get your message and this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. We hear you. We need to do this. If you're going to stand for these things, if you're going to stand for liberty, if you're going to stand for equality, then stand for it and don't get afraid because the Republicans bark back at you.
Right.
And the orange one, the clown, although as a former guy, can't do mean tweets anymore.
Right, the former Cheeto.
Say something mean about you. And people said something mean about you in high school. You survived.
Right. Bottom line.
Right.
But you know what? Even the CNN well, oh my God, John what's his name? Lemon, John Lemon. He said the very same thing you said, Parnell. Why are we so busy trying to, bow to these extremists on the Republican Party? Why the Democrats he was talking to Loretta Lynch about that. And the fact is that they are still playing these games. If they keep doing this, and I tell you this all the time, if they keep playing these games, they're going to lose out on the youth. If you're trying to get people to come out and vote for you, especially the progressive youth, and some of us Black people who still won't get out there and do what needs to be done, then you're going to lose. Stop it. It makes you look bad to those who supported you in trying to change the narrative. And I'm so tired of people so busy trying to make amends. Stop making amends. Start putting these people in jail, number one. And I'm just, and as an American, I'm tired of it. I'm tired, and as a Black man, I'm tired of watching these people getting away with this. Because we have never gotten away with this as Black people, as Black men, as Black women, even as children. We have never gotten away with this craziness. So why are you letting these people walk away? They walked away from the Capitol. They went to their respective homes. They got away within their state and local level. You know what I'm saying? They got away with they got away with it. No, they got away with it. Well, a lot of them did. Because one lady went to Mexico. She was not even supposed to travel. They put a travel ban on, and she went to Mexico on their tail.
Anyway,
so why did she get shot on? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Well, why did George Zimmerman get shot on site?
Right.
Well, and that's another thing. I'm listen. It is what it is.
Right.
I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of it as a Democrat, as a voter of the Democratic Party. I'm tired of it. Let's stop it. Unless we're gonna have to start a party of our own, and I'm down for that too.
I'm down for that too. That's with this two-party system. I think it has run its course.
Right.
That's one thing that I encourage about election reform and campaign finance reform. There are probably brilliant people in some of these smaller parties and lesser known parties who would be wonderful, effective leaders who would get us to a more egalitarian society, but they don't have the funds to get the message out.
I blame the American people.
Well, I'm gonna say this real carefully. Well, I say this real carefully, and then the point of the four gentlemen on this show has far more knowledge and equipability to be able to move society in a place of banding together to create a better narrative for society. That's what we do. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I mean, you have great wisdom, Parnell. Harold, you're profound. You are super profound. I know I'm profound. Okay. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, and it's unfortunate that we have to continue to have conversations like this in order for people to wake up. Oh, I'm sorry, up.
Yeah. But it's only the four of us now.
Right.
We're talking about a whole nation of people.
No, I agree.
I'm not trying to downgrade what you're saying, but it's just what gets me all roused up is that we have a nation of people who are not informed or don't want to be informed.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But who are not, their eyes are not even open to the possibilities of where this country could head if you don't get involved.
Right. It's just like what we talked about when we talked about the whole social media platform. We've been guiding through every conversation layer that we've had on tonight's show has been evolved around what we're talking about right now. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all about the involvement of people. And if you're not really willing to open your eyes to a clear understanding before you, then we're going to keep revisiting these issues, because wherever in your dark space that you pull off your clothes and be on TikTok for a moment or whatever, being funny, and whatever, but you're still in that dark space. Because you would feel that you offer more to your community of people by being clothed than you would be for being naked. At the end of the day, and you understand what I'm saying by that. It's just a layer of, you know what I mean.
Well, I'm going to spearhead this.
The
new party.
Anyway,
let's take our clothes off and get some things across. Let's do what we need to do to get freedom going. Take all your clothes off.
All right, yeah. Give to the cause, cause rent is due.
Right. But I'm just saying that as a point of reference, in terms of Father's Day Awakening. I know. But in the other part about about this is that what really needs to happen is that term limits need to be set for all offices in government. Okay, it should have never been anything such as that you're in this position for life. It should have been, if it's an 8-year for president, it's an 8-year for congressman, senator, whatever. Get your ass out. Okay. Now, if you can stay out for 8 years and come back, I'll give you another 8 years. You see what I'm saying? But you have got to give that time frame for my whole idea to turn around. You know, matter of fact, you just stay out 10 years for some of them, you know, at the end of the day, you know. Then if you get voted back after that time frame, okay, then we'll give you another 8-year run. But your ass need to go. You need to pack your office up and go and let somebody with a different mindset come in there. This is, in my opinion, this is the only way that we are going to be able to elevate government to where the government are for the people, by the people. Okay, absolutely. Because otherwise, it's going to be the same thing over and over again. You get. I won't say that. I was going to say something I shouldn't say. You got these. I'm
going to start calling you the cussing preacher.
I know we got one of those already.
Yeah, you know what? Whenever that come up, I call it. That's my Peter side. Okay, and Peter was a cussing prophet. Okay, Peter walk up. Peter would bless you with water in one hand and come out cuss your ass out the next hand. But guess what? In between, he got his point across between blessing and cussing. Okay?
He was reaching different audiences. That's how you
and different audiences knew how to maneuver. Okay,
right.
Some people he said, "Please wake up and understand what I'm saying." The other audience he said, "Wake your ass up." You know, at the end of the day, go ahead here. I know you had some things you wanted to comment on. Oh, one thing, I want to say hey to my cousin. Long time he's watching tonight. Hey, Clyde, wanted to say hey to you, brother. Man, nice, glad you joined us tonight. But go ahead, Hero.
Well, I guess it's not even really a hot topic, but it's an important topic. So last week we mentioned that, you know, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
And I ran across a quote that a psychiatrist shared about worry, because that's something that a lot of us struggle with. We don't never talk about worry. But one of the things he shared was a research report that he had that showed that 91% of the things that most Americans worry about never happen.
Wow.
Never happen. And we spend an exorbitant amount.
Never
happened. And he was just saying how we spend an exorbitant amount of time worrying for things that will never happen. And you know how we often have this ability, I know that I do, have this ability just to think of worst case scenarios and play it out always like the negative. Oh my God, if this doesn't happen, this is going to happen, and this, I'm going to end up homeless. And so much of our worry has to do with our stability. So things around money and where we stay, and even in relationships. And most of those things never happen. And so what happens is we miss the joy in the moment because we're thinking about what could happen. And the reality is it probably is more than likely will not happen.
Right.
But I know for me, that's something that I've always struggled with. Even during seasons of abundance, I would always worry about lack. I would always be worried about things going awry. And I know a lot of that had to do with my programming and growing up. Because I remember my mom, you know, even when things were going good, when all the bills were paid, I remember my mom saying things like, oh my God, you know, something bad is going to happen, you know, and so missing the opportunity to even enjoy the moment and being present. And every religion that you look at, it talks about the importance of just being still, you know, and we don't practice that. We know it intellectually, but it's not something that we practice. And I think faith is a muscle that if you don't practice it, you know, if you don't work it, you know, it's going to atrophy. And I think a lot of times we spend too much time in worry. So we're building that muscle and we're not building that faith muscle.
Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, if you don't, I hate for those who don't believe in zodiac signs, but I think that worrying is the worst. Is for Taurus is the worst thing. That's one of the things that I know for me, I like solid concrete. I talk about this all the time with Jay. I said I love the foundation to be solid. I like for things to make sense, and when they don't make sense, then I worry. I really worry, and I think that comes from also growing up in a single parent household where my mom always used to say, y'all don't get in debt. don't ever get in debt. I would hate for y'all to ever go into debt because it's hard to get out of. And as the years progress, there's been debts that I'm still paying off, and that still worry me, give me anxiety. Sometimes it's hard for me to sleep. It's not hard for me to work, but sometimes it's hard for me to sleep, to wind down. And and you know, also it does trigger my weight, because I do have a yo-yo weight. I could be you could say that I'm a little husky at this point, but I could go down sometime if I'm feeling great. I can get thin. But yeah, it's just the fact that, you know, it's part of the society to worry about a lot of things, especially when it's your program. It's programs into us every day. Even with this, you know, I didn't want to talk too much about this scenario, but even with the Will Smith situation where he talks about body positivity, you know, okay, let's talk about body positivity. Let's talk about being comfortable with who you are, but telling wherever on the one. Say that one more time, Harold.
I said wherever you are.
Wherever you are. But on the other hand, you're saying, well, I'm in the worst shape of my life. You know, it does trigger those who feel like, okay, well, what? So you accept, where's the positivity? Because now I'm worried about my own body, because that's how my body looks. And when I look at that, then that makes me feel like I'm worrying about my preservation, even though I don't need to worry about it, but it is what it is. That is where I'm just saying, as a society, we love to harp on stuff that doesn't make sense. You remember when Y2K broke, when they said that I think it was around 2000, when they kept saying that everything was going to shut down, everything was going to happen. Yeah, nothing happened. But you know who? For somebody, my auntie Jackie, I'm so sorry for putting you on blast, but this is so funny. Now, being a Pentecostal lady and being the lady of the faith, she had a whole gigantic closet of food, canned goods all the way up to the ceiling. And I thought about it. I said, golly, for somebody who believed in God, believed that everything was going to be okay through faith, through being close with the Father, you wouldn't have to worry about what the world is saying, but you got canned goods stacked, because people saying that Y2K is going to come and tear down everything. You know, that is the craziness of our country, of our society. You know,
you know, I mean, just touching on what you're saying, and Harold, good point. You know,
that was a great point.
You know, one of the things. Okay, I got to get spiritual, biblical, spiritual, whatever. But what I mean, because we're all spiritual creatures, and the thing about it is that we are creators. You know, I mean, whatever spin you want to put on it, you know, at the end of the day, we were birthed of the creator, so you have to be a creator. We're begotten to be begotten. You know, at the end of the day, and we're going to continue to be begotten. You know, every time something comes out of your mouth, you've begotten something. You know, not forgotten, but begotten it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so. One of the things that society has gotten away from so strongly is being astute of our words. We have been so programmed into buzzwords that are out there that become trigger points for us over the course of our life, and we don't really realize what those buzzwords do to us. You know, those buzzwords, we're so prone, and because of, we've heard it most of our adult being these negative words, you know, so that interjects where you talk about the fear of worry, or the consistency of worry being played, because the first thing somebody says to you is, what are you worrying about? Or what's worrying? What's troubling you? Why are you looking, you know, and all these other type of things, rather than coming back with a positive, you know, affirmation behind it. Regardless if you felt great in the moment or not, say I am great. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like we've taught in your seminar, Harold, and in UT, there's a point where you have to wake up and say that I am enough. You know, at the end of the day, because otherwise I'm gonna be full of sheesh. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so I am enough to face this day. You know, and if you are awakened to that opportunity, you know, and bring that into you, you've got to put those shields up against those words, you know, and worry is one of those big factors, because it's an adverb, so it means action, you know, in the process, so it's going to cause that reaction in you at the end of the day. But like you said, Harold, that becomes that muscle you use all the time. But faith is a much more profound word, you know, at the end of the day. And faith gravitates and puts things in its perspective so that you can look at it and know how to deal with it. And faith gives you the tool to be able to, because guess what? Faith is step out and do it blindly. You know what I'm saying? So if you step out into it blindly in the aspect of faith, worry drops off. You know, and then your results are to the expectation of how you step in, because you open the door. Faith should open the door, but you don't know what's on the other side of it. But your faith ignited something that's going to be very great on the other side of that door. You know, so, but we don't want to go there in life, because number one, it puts us in a position of having to take responsibility for our thoughts, our deeds, and our actions. You know, with consequences, with responsibility, love, and truth. You know, so we don't want to go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and here's another issue or problem with worry is that our bodies don't know whether or not we're imagining something or we are actually experiencing it.
True.
So even when we're worrying it, our body is taking it as it's actually happened. So if you're worrying about not having any money, being homeless or whatever, your body is taking that information as it's actually happened. The body don't know if we're just thinking it or if it's actually happening. And so as a result, we begin to release cortisol in our level, and that's the stress hormone.
Exactly.
And that causes us to be, susceptible to all kind of illnesses. So it's very, very harmful, that worry. I'm not only mentally, but also physically.
Well, even on that point that you were exactly saying, and there's such a twofold word right in there, which you release that, but you're not releasing the energy that is out there to bring the great thing to you. So in other words, you're reversing reversed energy. You know what I'm saying? So the energy of the positivity that the universe is out there to bring into you, you're reversing that process by the worry. So you are manifesting the worry. You manifest it here, you're going to eventually manifest it out here, because you put yourself in a position of lack and not having, and whatever the case may be. If you are not understanding your financial position, if you just even make the simple declaration, I will never be without money. You know what I'm saying? Now, there may be a time where it may dip a little bit, but at the end of the day, you put that affirmation out there and say, I will never be without money. I will never operate in lack. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a part of your being. You start making better decisions, the way that you may not have handled your money the way before, that puts you in lack. You know what I'm saying? Because it always becomes a responsibility of your own to make whatever's happening to you or to create your new life. But hey, bottom line is that everybody on this show, we have declared over our team here that this is a team that will be very, very prosperous in a very short period of time. You know what I'm saying? We have poured our heads together. This is our motive. This is where we're going. We stay the course. Doesn't mean we don't see a bump. Right. At the end of the day, but there's that course. Hey, I'm in a place that I will never be in a place of lack ever again. Okay, I will always have money in my pocket. It may not be what I want at the time. Right. Okay, but I may have to take a step back, to change myself different. Now, the money's going to be in my pocket. Now, the wisdom is that do I go to McDonald's or do I go to Ruth's Chris? Ruth's Chris. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the steakhouse. You know what I'm saying? Now, we know you go into Ruth's Chris, your own steak going to be $100 by itself. Right. Okay, and then everything else gonna be a la carte, so you're gonna pay $300 more for the potato. Okay,
some people go to Ruth's Chris anyway. They don't care. But I hear what you're saying.
But see, but again, like you teach this so profoundly here, but it's about exercising the wisdom in what you have and building your empire upon that. And then there'll be many days you'll walk into Ruth's Chris and say, "Give me 8 steaks." At the end of the day, But anyway, we got to wrap up. Okay.
I always say Lauryn Hill. I think Lauryn Hill said it best. Everything is everything. Lauryn Hill said it best.
Okay.
Everything is everything.
You had a quick point up before we wrap up?
Oh, no. It was just when you were talking about the things that people think of and how we put our energy into things. We're talking to different spiritual and energy folks. Even when we say stuff like, I don't want. Right. All the universe hears is I want. And whatever it is, that doesn't matter.
That's right.
It's really about, instead of spending that time worrying about what you don't want, focus on the things you do want.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Single friends. So, I want a man. What kind of man? What does he do? What are his beliefs? What are his, attributes? You get a man.
Right.
You get into trouble, and then you'd be like, "Oh Lord, please take this fool away from me." You got to be specific. I want a job. A job doing what? A job that pays how much? Where is this job? Are you moving for this job?
That's right.
You have to be really specific when you talk about the things that I want to come into my life. Like, I have been a multi-thousandaire for a while. So now I'm focusing on being a millionaire.
Hello.
I'm going like, I want to be a millionaire.
I have not. I ain't stopping at a million, baby. I want to be the billionaire.
Oh, I'll take that.
Okay, because what I have in me to want to do, and my level of thought right now, thought philanthropism. You know what I'm saying? I got to be a multi-billionaire, not a multi-millionaire, but a multi-billionaire in order to be able to do that. And that's in the process of happening. And y'all gonna be right there with me. Okay.
Yeah. Here,
y'all gonna be right there with me. Okay. Because Harold, you be living back in LA, right in Bel Air with us. Okay. Parnell be down the street from us. Okay. Get in, like I said the other day, get in your golf cart and ride them down to the house. Okay.
I receive that.
Absolutely. Gladly. All right. Harold, do you want to make a quick point before we close?
Well, I was just going to say, I know we've all been through difficult times.
Yes.
We all have fears and worries that we deal with. But here's the truth that I know about everybody, because I know it about myself, is that you've never not made it.
Wow.
Had some difficult times, have gone through some hiccups, have had some struggles, but you've never not made it.
Yes. Yes. Very good point. Wow, what a way to close. That's it. The great moment of the evening. I know everybody always has a thank you, Harold. That's good. That's good. Guys, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight, The Truth Behind the Truth. Want to remind you, next week we are kicking off our Writer's Page series. It's going to be an awesome show. Man, you need to tell people to line up, to be in line, clicking on Truth Behind Truth next week. With author Tara Colt, we are going to get in her book called Real Talk for the LGBT and understand the LGBTQ plus E, F, K, I, L, G, whatever alphabet you are, okay? We gonna talk about your alphabet. All right. But she has really did a powerful research. And I will say again, which I hope I said at the beginning of the show, that this is a heterosexual woman, okay, that took the responsibility, okay, of getting involved, of having to bridge the gap between the same gender community and the heterosexual community. Very powerful. Spirituality, to just understanding who people are. This book is just wonderful. And if you hadn't gotten it, if you want to do a little research on it, I encourage you, go to Amazon. Get it. Okay, it's called Real Talk. Her name is Tara Colt. Okay, I wish I had the thing I'd put it up tonight for you in the process of it. But you've seen it in the advertising. Very, very good book. Please get out and get it. Be here next week for this show. We may even have to invite her over because it's so deep to a second show. All right? Yes. Yeah, really. It's going to be good. Yes. Fellas, thank you. Love you. We'll see y'all in a minute. Thank you for being here tonight. Hugs down in Atlanta, Harold. Our former home partner, All right, you guys have a powerful night. Thanks for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth. We will see you back here at the same time, same place, and excuse me, on time next week. You had a little difficulty last tonight, but that won't happen next week. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Have a powerful week, powerful night, powerful rest of the day. Bye.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.